Sick of cars that fall apart before 200,000 miles? Most do, and drain your wallet in the process. But these 25 are different. They're the most reliable cars ever built, backed by brutal owner data and million-mile stories. Miss this list, and you might regret your next car. At number 25, we've got the 2015 to 2020 Honda Fit, the little hatch that refuses to die. If you're the kind of driver who needs max space in a tiny footprint and plans to keep your car for a decade or more, this is your jackpot. Real-world owners are seeing 200,000 to 300,000 miles with nothing more than oil, filters, and the occasional brake job. The engine? A chain-driven 1.5L four-cylinder that doesn't need belt service and runs cool thanks to low compression and smart fuel tuning. It's not fast, but it's nearly unbreakable. The CVT had a bearing issue early on, but post-recall cars hold up well with regular fluid changes. And the body? Built with 27% high-strength steel, better than some mid-size sedans, so squeaks and rattles stay away even after years of daily abuse. Known quirks? Some injector clogs and a fuel pump recall, both fixed under warranty. Owners call it the last great small Honda. They're not wrong. Number 24 is the Subaru Impreza, 2020 to present. One of the few compacts that brings all-wheel drive to the table without piling on complexity or cost. It's the kind of car you'd recommend to a college kid heading to school in Michigan, or to someone commuting through 4 seasons who doesn't want a crossover. And it holds up. No drama, no mystery bills. The structure underneath is stiff and overbuilt, which is why you don't hear creaks and rattles even after 100,000 miles. Its 2.0-liter flat 4 won't win drag races, but it's easy on oil, easy on heat, and happy doing the daily grind. The CVT? Subaru had issues in the past, but they cleaned it up, and now it's covered for 10 years, or 100,000 miles. Owners just stick to fluid changes every 30 to 60K and move on. There are recalls to note, a windshield reseal, a harness sleeve, but they're minor, well-documented, and rarely repeat. What's left is a reliable, sure-footed daily that stays out of your wallet and on the road. At number 23, the 2018 Nissan Leaf stands out as one of the most durable, low-maintenance EVs you can buy, and it's not even trying to show off. Perfect for daily solo commuters, its single electric motor skips the usual headaches. No transmission fluid, no clutch packs, no gears to fail, and it's gone over 250,000 miles in fleet duty without needing a rebuild. The battery may be air-cooled, but it's cleverly managed. Nissan limits how much charge you can use at the top and bottom, protecting it from the usual stress that kills range early. That's why most owners still see 85% capacity after 100,000 miles, and why Nissan covers the battery to 70% for 8 years. Brake pads can last 150,000 miles thanks to strong regenerative braking, and typical annual maintenance costs land under $225. If you've got a charger at home and zero patience for oil changes or dealership drama, the Leaf just quietly does the job and keeps doing it. Some EVs just do their job. Others change the job description entirely. The next one did both. At number 22, it's the 2018 to present Tesla Model 3. One of the few EVs that backs up its hype with real-world staying power. Its battery packs are liquid-cooled and designed with safety margins at both ends of the charge, helping most owners retain 90% of range even after 200,000 miles. The standard range models use LFP chemistry, which actually prefers being charged to 100%, ideal for daily drivers. The dual electric motors, oil-free, low maintenance, and spray-cooled to stay efficient under load. These same units have been tracked past 300,000 miles in early high-mileage cars without major failure. Even better, Tesla uses over-the-air software updates to fix or refine many issues before you ever see a warning light, from heater valves to driving assist updates. Yes, There have been quirks, like the creaky control arms and the early heat pump valve issue, but nearly all have been addressed through design changes or remote updates. Maintenance averages just over $1,000 per year, with most of that tied to tires and cabin filters, not drivetrain work. If you want a long-range EV that drives like a sports sedan and holds up over time, the Model 3 is the one to beat. At number 21, the 2016 to 2019 Chevrolet Volt stands out as one of the most quietly reliable plug-in hybrids ever sold. It combines a strong 53-mile electric range with a 1.5-liter gas engine that kicks in only when needed, making it ideal for drivers who commute daily but still want long-distance flexibility. The Volt's liquid-cooled battery stays within a tight temperature range, which is key to its longevity. Most owners still see over 90% battery capacity past 100,000 miles, and unlike air-cooled hybrids, it barely fades. GM also designed the pack with a built-in buffer to avoid deep charging cycles, the #1 cause of early battery failure in EVs. Its dual-motor setup runs with minimal stress, and the gas engine isn't directly connected to the wheels most of the time, so it sees less wear. Regular oil and filter changes are about all it needs, with average repair costs around $550 a year, better than most gas compacts. Two common issues, a park switch error and a battery control module fault, have both been covered by extended GM warranties. For drivers who want EV simplicity with backup range baked in, the Volt quietly delivers. Before we move on, tap subscribe if you're tired of buying the wrong car twice. We're here to help you pick once and drive it forever. Number 20 is the Kia Rio, 2018 to 2021. And if you're shopping for a dead simple, low-cost daily that outlasts expectations, this is your pick. While competitors like the Chevy Spark or discontinued Yaris cut corners, the Rio quietly punched above its weight. It runs a chain-driven 1.6L Gamma 2 engine, no turbo, no belt, and averages just $434 a year in maintenance, according to RepairPal. That's 6th best out of all subcompacts. There's no CVT, no electronic gimmicks, and base trims still use rear drum brakes, which last longer and cost less to replace. The front suspension and subframe come straight from the larger Ford, giving it structural strength you wouldn't expect in a car this size. Aside from an early recall for seatbelt corrosion in pre-2019 units, there are no major faults, and owners routinely go 100,000 plus miles with little more than oil, tires, and brakes. Even the audio system holds up. Kia used marine-grade speakers to resist sun damage. It's not flashy, it's just a smart, quiet overachiever that keeps showing up. But what if you want that same reliability, just dressed in a sharper suit? Watch out for the next one. At number 19, meet the Acura TLX, specifically the 2015 to 2020 model range. A quietly bulletproof pick for daily driving professionals who want comfort without the maintenance drama. You get Honda reliability under Acura polish, either a 2.4L4 with a slick dual clutch or a 3.5L V6 sharing bones with the Accord. Both deliver smooth, low-stress miles with drivetrain durability that outpaces many European rivals. RepairPal ranks it first in its class, with yearly costs around $440, rare in the luxury space. Most owners average fewer than one repair visit per year, even past 150,000 miles. Some V6s saw rare bearing wear concerns, and the idle stop feature can feel clunky, but neither dents the TLX's reputation as a long-haul workhorse. For commuters and execs who rack up miles and don't want to gamble on a used BMW, this is the smart money sedan. Number 18. The Hyundai Accent from 2018 to 2022. It may have been marketed as a budget car, but for practical drivers who value quiet durability over bells and whistles, it's a hidden gem that just keeps running. This generation was Hyundai's Flex in the affordable segment, a subcompact built with the kind of steel and structural strength you'd expect in a far pricier car. Its 1.6-liter engine, especially in the earlier MPI versions, avoids the carbon buildup issues that plagued some rivals, and uses a timing chain instead of a belt, slashing long-term service costs. Unlike competitors rushing into CVT tech, Hyundai stuck with a proven 6-speed automatic through 2019. Even when the CVT did arrive in 2020, it came mated to a low-strain engine, and early reliability results have been solid. Maintenance costs land around 440 soars a year, and the car's body structure resists rust and stays quiet deep into the miles. If you want a no-fuss commuter that shrugs off age and quietly racks up big numbers, the Accent's the sleeper pick. Now let's see what happens when Hyundai takes that same durability mindset and plugs it in. At number 17, it's the Hyundai Kona Electric from 2019 to 2022, a small EV that quietly sidesteps the usual battery degradation pitfalls and just keeps going. Unlike air-cooled rivals like the Nissan Leaf, the Kona uses a fully integrated liquid-cooled system tied to the AC and heater, keeping battery temps stable even under fast charging or extreme weather. That thermal stability, plus Hyundai's decision to leave a buffer at both ends of the pack's capacity, means many owners are still seeing near original range even after 100,000 miles. The drivetrain is built to last. Its 150 kilowatt front motor and reduction gear share hardware with the Ioniq Electric, a car that's racked up hundreds of thousands of miles in taxi fleets worldwide. Yes, there was a battery recall in 2019-20, but Hyundai replaced entire packs with improved cells and upgraded the BMS, a $900 million fix shared with LG. Post-recall resale values bounced back, and the long-term reliability picture looks better than ever. It's not the quickest to charge, and the rear seats are tight. But for EV buyers focused on long-term durability, the Kona remains one of the safest bets under $35K. At number 16, it's the Nissan Sentra from 2020 onward, the comeback kid of compact sedans, rebuilt from the ground up to fix the old Sentra's biggest flaws. This generation runs a smooth 2.0-liter engine that skips the turbo and high-stress tuning in favor of long-term durability. It uses the same surface treatment from Nissan's performance engines to reduce wear inside the cylinders and features a timing chain, not a belt, so there's no major service needed at 100,000 miles. The big story, though, is the transmission. Nissan overhauled its CVT, adding cooling upgrades and bringing back a fluid dipstick and filter. Small things that make a big difference in long-term maintenance. And it worked. In 2021, the Sentra ranked number 1 in its class for initial quality, beating both Honda and Toyota in early owner complaints. It also rides better than before, thanks to a more rigid chassis and a new independent rear suspension that holds up better over time. A couple of tie rod recalls hit early models, but they were fixed quickly and haven't shown back up. At number 15, we've got the 2020 to 2025 Subaru Legacy, the only midsize sedan in its class with standard all-wheel drive and a reliability record strong enough to match it. This generation rides on Subaru's global platform, which is 70% stiffer than before. That added strength means fewer rattles, better suspension life, and tighter alignment over time. It's also one of the safest sedans in its class, with every model from 2020 onward earning a top safety pick plus from IIEHS. Under the hood, 2 engines keep things simple. The base 2.5L Flat 4 uses a timing chain, not a belt, and cooling upgrades help it stay smooth past 200,000 miles. The Turbo 2.4L in the Sport and Touring trims borrows its block from the larger Accent SUV, meaning it's built to handle more power than it actually makes, a good sign for longevity. Subaru also fixed earlier CVT concerns. The latest version is chain-driven, not belt-based, and now includes a dipstick and external filter, making regular servicing easier and cheaper. Maintenance averages just $563 a year, and resale stays strong, especially in snowbelt states where AWD is a must. And with production ending after 2025, it's your last chance to grab a budget-friendly AWD sedan built for the long haul. Legacy may be checking out, but the next one quietly walked in and started rewriting the rulebook. On number 14, we've got the 2020 present Hyundai Sonata, and this one proves you don't need a Toyota badge to get decade-long peace of mind. Hyundai built this generation from the ground up with durability in mind. Under the hood, the 1.6-liter turbo engine uses a system that gently regulates valve timing to reduce stress, and it runs cool, even after shutdown, thanks to an electric pump that keeps temperatures in check. Meanwhile, the standard 8-speed automatic avoids the quirks that haunted older Hyundai Kia gearboxes, and the sporty N-Line's wet clutch DCT has already proven reliable after a simple software fix. Annual maintenance averages under $460, and none of its recalls have touched the engine or transmission, just a fuse, latch, or sensor here and there. Plus, Hyundai backs it with a 10-year powertrain warranty. This is a car built for folks who want upscale tech, low stress, and a long-haul daily without the premium badge markup. And it's delivering exactly that. At number 13, it's the 2021 to present Kia K5, the quiet comeback kid that proves Kia isn't playing around anymore. Built after Hyundai Kia's engine lawsuit era, the K5 brings chain-driven SmartStream engines, a quiet N3 chassis with 115 meters of structural adhesive, and an in-house 8-speed automatic that skips the fragile CVT drama. Real-world owners report minimal issues even past 40,000 miles, and maintenance costs average around $640 per year, still less than rivals like the Mazda 6 or Passat. It's not a Camry, but that's the point. Kia leaned into smart design, chain-driven oil pumps, multi-cell dampers, and even a nearly right-angle door opening for long-term durability. The AWD system borrows components from the Sorento and comes with snow mode, great for winter commuters. There are quirks. Brake pads wear fast on GT trims, and base models ride firm over rough roads. But the drivetrain's solid, the warranty is unmatched, and there's no ticking time bomb under the hood. At number 12, the 2014 to 2021 Mazda 6 is the mid-size sedan that quietly blends sharp handling with long-haul durability and never gets the credit it deserves. This is the car you recommend to the family member who wants a Camry but still cares how a car drives. Its 2.5L engine doesn't just sip regular gas at 32 mpg, it also routinely clears 250,000 miles without drama. No turbo to worry about on most trims. And the 6-speed automatic? It's held up so well in teardown reports, even indie shops call it unusually clean. Real-world upkeep is modest, just $481 a year on average. And you won't be chasing parts or quirky failures. The infotainment screen may bubble on some pre-2018 models, but Mazda extended the warranty, and while the turbo trims added punch, they stayed conservative on tuning to keep heat and stress low. Now for something that's a little louder in looks, but just as quiet in the shop. At number 11, the 2019 present Kia Soul is what your practical friend with surprisingly good taste might drive, and keep for 200,000 miles without a drama-filled group chat about repairs. Its biggest reliability hiccup, a piston ring recall affecting some 2.0-liter models, has been widely addressed with engine replacements or ECU updates. Beyond that, the Soul's drivetrain is refreshingly simple. No turbo unless you opted for the now-gone GT line. No AWD. No weird dual-motor nonsense. Just a roomy front-wheel drive hatch with real-world ownership costs hovering around $437 a year, according to RepairPal. J.D. Power rates it 87/100 for quality, better than many premium crossovers. And even early 2020s models are now logging 150k miles with original engines and transmissions. For city dwellers, students, or small families who don't need AWD, but do want a 10-year 100k mile powertrain warranty, the Soul delivers. Just make sure the piston ring fix is done, then change your oil on time, and this little cube will just keep going. At number 10, the 2019-2022 Toyota Avalon is the full-size sedan your retired uncle or high-mileage commuter should have bought before SUVs took over. It's Lexus-grade quiet, Camry-grade durable, and doesn't ask for much. Just oil, tires, and the occasional air filter. The numbers back it. J.D. Power scores it 92/100 for reliability, and 10-year maintenance costs hover around just $4,500. Nearly half what a Charger or 300 will cost you. Whether you pick the silky 3.5L V6 or the 44 mpg hybrid, both drivetrains are proven across Toyota's lineup and rarely throw expensive surprises. The hybrid even comes with a 10-year 150k mile battery warranty. That said, owners should check that the early fuel pump recall was handled. It was widespread but low risk when fixed. Otherwise, the Avalon is the kind of car you buy at 60,000 miles and drive to 200,000 without ever meeting your mechanic socially. Big, quiet, and cushy is great, until you realize the next one gets the job done for half the cost. At number 9, the 2019-2024 Kia Forte quietly earns its way onto the list as the set-it-and-forget-it commuter sedan that rarely asks for more than an oil change. This generation ditched the riskier turbo and stuck with a mellow 2.0-liter engine that, while not thrilling, runs cool and clean for well over 150,000 miles. Instead of a rubbery CVT, Kia built a smarter chain-driven one that mimics gear shifts, and it holds up with fewer complaints than the Civics or Corollas. Real-world owners report spending around $451 a year in maintenance, and 100k mile cars still cruise like they're new. It's also built like a grown-up. 54% of the body uses ultra-strong steel, which means fewer rattles, less suspension wear, and solid crash test scores. Add in a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and you've got a sedan built for long-haul daily drivers, new grads, or anyone tired of car drama. If there's a downside, base headlights are weak. Spend a little more for the trim with LEDs. Worth it. At number 8 is the Hyundai Elantra, refreshed in 2019 and steadily improved ever since. No longer just a budget sedan, the Elantra has made impressive strides in reliability, climbing J.D. Power's rankings from 75 to 86 out of 100 in just 3 years, outpacing rivals like the Civic, Corolla, and Sentra. Owners now report low annual maintenance costs, averaging around $450, and Hyundai's standout 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty doubles what Toyota offers. Under the hood, the 2.0L engine avoids common carbon buildup issues seen in other compacts, while the chain-driven CVT benefits from proactive software updates. It's an especially smart choice for long-term commuters, particularly in Sunbelt states, where its basic suspension and solid build handle rough roads with ease. However, a few trade-offs remain. Earlier CVTs had quirks, and base trims lack a rear wiper. The last one got you there. The next one makes you want to go back out again. At number 7, the 2019 to present Mazda III is what your mechanic uncle would call the long-haul compact for people who still enjoy driving. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a commuter sick of CVTs, or someone downsizing from a larger car, this one quietly delivers. It's got a solid body that's 30% stiffer than the old one, and that matters, because less flex means fewer squeaks and fewer long-term issues. The engines? Either a 2.0L or 2.5L that have been on the road for over a decade, tuned for real-world stress, not headlines. The 6-speed automatic avoids the belt-driven risks of CVTs and maintenance averages just $450 a year, cheaper than a Civic or Golf. Early recalls like the false braking alert and fuel pump were fixed quickly, and the rest, mostly annoyances, not failures. It's not perfect, the back seat's tight, and CarPlay is still wired, but this is the compact for someone who wants to drive their car, not just ride in it. And with AWD available, it's a rare all-weather hatch that still feels premium without going premium. But what if you could get all that longevity and a little less maintenance math? The next one figured it out. Number 6 is the 2016 to 2024 Honda Civic, the commuter's secret weapon that rides like a sports sedan but runs like a Corolla on coffee. This generation fixed nearly every gripe from the last one. It brought back independent rear suspension, tightened the chassis with more high-strength steel than a Mazda III, and introduced a turbo engine that, after 2019 updates, finally solved its early fuel-in-oil issue. The result? Cars regularly crossing 200,000 miles with original engines and CVTs, and annual maintenance averaging just $368. Even the CVT, usually a weak spot in compacts, gets praise here. Honda fitted it with a torque converter to reduce belt strain. One reason it outlasts rivals like the Elantras or Sentras. Real-world owner costs undercut even Toyota, and a car and driver Civic racked up 40,000 miles with just $670 in unscheduled repairs. It's not perfect. Early AC condenser leaks and some radar sensor quirks annoy, but for daily drivers, college grads, or long-haul commuters who want quiet consistency, this Civic might be the most worry-free miles you'll ever buy. Number 5, the 2018 to present Lexus ES is the kind of car your accountant uncle or retired dad would buy and never think about again. And that's exactly why it's on this list. Everything about it is built for the long game. A V6 that never needs valve cleanings, a hybrid setup proven to hit 300,000 miles in taxi fleets, and a transmission shared with the Camry, not some fragile luxury part. Real-world repair costs average under $470 a year, and resale values hold better than any German midsize rival. Even Reddit threads are boring in the best way. Owners just drive, service, and repeat. Yes, early versions had a weird touchpad and a jerky 8-speed, both fixed by 2022, but that's the worst of it. No air suspension, no twin turbo headaches, just silence, ride comfort, and hybrid MPG if you want it. If you want luxury that doesn't punish you for owning it past 100,000 miles, the ES is the safest bet out there. Comfort's great, but the next car rewrote the rules by being, well, relentlessly average in the best way. At number 4, the 2016 to present Toyota Prius proves once again that being boring is wildly underrated. For anyone doing 15,000 plus miles a year, think rideshare drivers, multi-car families, or long-haul commuters. This car just doesn't quit. It runs a lean burn hybrid engine that ranks among the most thermally efficient ever sold in a passenger car, and it actually uses that advantage to run cooler underload, which helps it avoid the head gasket issues that haunted earlier Priuses. Even at 200,000 miles, it's not uncommon to find original battery packs still holding 85 to 90% charge. Not bad for a car that sips fuel at 50 plus mpg. Yes, the brake booster had a recall. Yes, some early windshields cracked, but the drivetrain barely touched. And with annual maintenance around $444, nearly $200 less than a Corolla, you'll see why a third of all Priuses sold hit $200K. At number 3, we've got the 2018 to present Honda Accord, the pick for drivers who want long-term peace of mind but still care how a car drives. The 1.5-liter turbo gets the headlines for early oil dilution, mostly in cold climate, short trip use before 2021, but otherwise, it's a low-strain engine when maintained right. Go for the hybrid or 2.0T if you want to skip that worry altogether. Both are impressively robust. The hybrid setup in particular has no traditional gearbox, fewer moving parts, fewer things to break, and real-world MPG near 46. Routine maintenance runs about $400 a year, and it's one of the few mid-size sedans with a solid 17% chance of crossing 250,000 miles. Even the infotainment, once clunky, was fixed with a CPU upgrade and simpler controls by 2021. This isn't flash, it's a long-game sedan, the one your mechanic would quietly buy for his own family. We're almost at number 1, but first, the car that quietly became the gold standard for set it and forget it. At number 2, the 2019 to present Toyota Corolla is what you recommend to someone who never wants to ask, is my car okay? Again, quietly smart engineering. Toyota's CVT here isn't your average belt grinder, It uses a physical gear just to get moving, easing stress on the transmission's weakest link. The 2.0L engine hits 40% thermal efficiency, rare in gas cars, but owners mostly care that it keeps going with basic oil changes. Real-world data shows average 10-year costs are $1,300 less than segment rivals. Early CVT issues and a fuel pump recall hit some 2019s, but were fixed fast and didn't return. The interior's no luxury lounge, but nothing squeaks or flakes. And unlike rivals that cheaped out on rear suspension, Toyota stuck with a multi-link setup. Not flashy, but you feel it every pothole season. It's not a car you brag about, it's one you forget you even own, until the day you realize it just crossed 200,000 miles. Number 1. The 2018 present Toyota Camry is a masterclass in quiet longevity. J.D. Power scores it 86/100 for reliability, best in class. And RepairPal says owners spend just €380 a year on maintenance, nearly $100 less than the Honda Accord. Even over a full decade, CarEdge projects total upkeep at just over $4,500. The 2.5L Dynamic Force engine runs cooler and cleaner than older Camrys thanks to its clever self-cleaning valve system, and Toyota's hybrid battery, relocated for better airflow, regularly crosses 300,000 miles in taxi fleets. One owner on Reddit put it simply, "200K on mine, and it still drives like it's new." Yes, there were a few early hiccups, shift hesitation in 2018 models, a fuel pump recall, but all were patched early and haven't stuck to the car's reputation. The hybrid system is still the same architecture as the Prius, just tucked into a comfier shell. And when a mid-size sedan can dodge turbo issues, carbon fouling, and battery dread all in one package, that's peace of mind with a steering wheel. These 25 cars go the distance. But what if you're broke? Then click next for 20 rock-solid rides that cost almost nothing and just won't quit.